You're listening to Pyro Media Network, setting radios ablaze since 2017. Coffee with Kim, the podcast. Yes, this is the podcast where you can get whatever you get, your coffee, your tea, or whatever you have in your cup, sit back, relax, and enjoy the conversation. And boy, do I have a conversation for you today. I am actually interviewing a good friend, longtime friend of mine, a person I consider a brother. I'm interviewing him because he had quite an eventful situation happen a few months ago, and I'm just so impressed with him because he is what I say, he's standing. He's continuing to stand, and you'll know why that's so important for me to say. But first, let me just say that my friend, his name is Crest Mitchell. He is a 66-year-old retired Navy veteran. He is the father of 5, a former children's pastor. Yes, children's pastor at Church One, my church. He is a 35-year employee of Boeing Corporation. And he also works as a computer consultant and is an avid gamer. So that's just a little bit about him right now. But what I want to take a real deep dive into as we start our conversation is that recently, Crest just recently survived what's called a widowmaker heart attack, right? Which this heart attack that he experienced resulted in the amputation of both of his legs below the knee. I've known this man for probably over 30 some odd years, and it just, I don't know, wait till I get to it. I mean, he's amazing. He's a hardworking man with a great personality. I've always known him to have a great personality, and now he's focused on his recovery, right? Including learning to walk and doing what he can do to return to his job. Now, most people would just kind of say, oh, it's over for me. I'm just going to sit around and let people serve me. But no, my friend Crest, he is a doer, a go-getter. He's just an amazing person all the way around. So I want to bring to the stage now my friend Crest Mitchell.
Good evening.
Hey, how are you?
I'm all right. I appreciate that. I like the way that sounded. I appreciate that.
Well, it's all the truth.
My head got big right there.
My head got big. That's okay. Yeah. That's okay. So, Crest, I first want to acknowledge that we have known each other. I know for sure I've known you as long as your youngest son has been in this world. And how old is Cameron?
Cameron's 30, just turned 30.
30. So I've known you longer than that.
Right.
Right. So we've known each other for over 30 years, and just really are more like family. Your daughter is my goddaughter, and it's just a lot of mixture of our families. Yes. and just, relationships. So we're very familiar with one another. And so that's why I think for me, it was really, it was hard to hear, first of all, that you had a heart attack. And I didn't realize what kind of heart attack you had, but I do remember staying in close contact with the kiddos, and they were telling, Cameron mostly was telling me, giving me updates on your condition. Yeah. And so can you just tell us a little bit about the type of heart attack that you had?
I had what's called an aorta dissection, and that's where the main pump going to the heart has a leak in it. And mine was leaking inside my body. And if not for a blood clot, I would have died instantly.
Wow.
But because of the blood clot, it just caused me to pass out. And they went into my heart. I went into the operating and opened me up. I had a heart attack on the table. I went through 2 strokes on the table,
Wow.
and thank God the doctor had just went through the same thing with somebody else. So he pursued. He said most doctors would have just stopped, but he kept going, and he said he felt like I wanted to get a fight, so he wanted to give me a fighting chance. So he stayed with it and brought me through.
Wow.
And God
So
put his hands up and helped me.
you had a heart attack, then you had a heart attack on the table while being in surgery, and then you
And two
had
strokes.
2 strokes
Yes.
while in surgery, and you're still here to talk about it. So that's just amazing right there.
Yeah.
Can you share your journey, like leading up to the heart attack? Like, were there some symptoms? You
And
know,
and, and that's the scary part. I don't recall a symptom that I can point to say, hey, this should have been a warning. Because I don't smoke, so it was nothing like that. It was nothing that that I felt like reminded me or warned me preempted this particular attack. I was just having a good time working, and I was about to make a presentation. I work as a Boeing investigator auditor, and I was just got through walking on the field and looking at some planes, and we were back in the office. And as I was writing up my report, I ate a candy bar or something, and it just tasted horrible. And I said, "Oh, this is horrible. I don't know what's going on." And then I told her I need to go wash my mouth. And as I stood up, I felt a little woozy. I went to the middle of the hall, and next thing I know, I screamed out loud because it's just like an immediate pain.
wow.
And that's all I remember after that. And then next thing I know, I'm on the ground, and people telling me just hold my head up and whatever. That in the office, medic came down and tried to take care of me.
Wow. That's
But
amazing.
but nothing I can say pointed to just leading to it.
Yeah. And that's funny because most times people, there's like a warning, even if it's a subtle warning, there's something that they may look back on and go, oh, that's what that was. But, I have another friend who had the very same type of heart attack that you had, and he didn't have any warnings either. So I don't know if that's just kind of the nature of this particular heart attack or what, but it's just amazing that you survived all that while having the heart attack, then having another heart attack and 2 strokes while you're on the table being worked on. That right there says a lot. It says a lot about the God that we serve, and it also says a lot about the integrity of that surgeon that was working on you. So yeah, I applaud him for that. So tell me a couple things about how your life has changed since this heart attack. And let me go back. You had the heart attack, and then you started recovering from the heart attack. And then tell me how you led up, or what led up to the amputations.
So when you have a heart attack, they give you a particular medicine that are called pressors, and those things go immediately to the heart. They kind of redirect blood flow, so that your heart is getting all the blood flow that it needs. And when it does that, several things start lacking. In my case, it was my fingers. All my fingers turned black, and my legs turned black. And after a while, I was dragging. I don't know if I had a dream about this or not, but I dreamed that I didn't have to drag my feet along anymore. I didn't want to drag them around anymore because every time I got out of the bed or they had to move me, they had to move my legs, and then they had to move me. Then they had to move my legs later because they were not working. And that kind of it irritated me more than anything else. I felt like it was weighing me down. I could do better without them.
Wow.
I looked at them, and all I could see was when I was able to look at them, all I could see was black. Now, from what I understand, they were in better shape prior to that, but when I saw them, all I saw was black. and I felt like I was dragging them around everywhere I went. They would hit something, and people would tell me, you got to keep this particular boot on it. And I was like, why? It's nothing happening. You're not helping it. You're not doing anything to help it. Why am I wearing this boot around and dragging it around? And for some reason, I dreamt it had a name. I know this sounds crazy, but I dreamt the feet had a name. And I was dragging this particular person around everywhere I went with me. And I felt like that's unfair. And I don't know why I felt like that, or how that came to my mind, but that's how I ended up feeling. So when the time came to ask me what they want to do with them, I said, "Can you save them?" They said, "We can't save. We can't do anything with them." And then the doctor was saying, "We got to do something because it's starting to spread. So we got to stop it now." And the gangrene, it was like living gangrene, so they had to cut them off.
Wow. So how long after your heart attack did that happen?
The heart attack was January 30th, 2025, and they did an operation April 2nd.
Oh, okay. So it had been like 4 months
of dragging them from bed to bed to bed to bed to bed.
Wow.
To different, because I went to different hospitals for different things. When I had the heart attack in Austin, I was in San Antonio. I woke up enough for the doctor to tell me, "Listen, you have a heart attack that if I do it, I don't know, I haven't done it enough of them. If I do it right now, you'll die."
Wow.
So I'm gonna send you somewhere else. So they air back me to Austin, Texas.
Okay.
In a helicopter. And I remember the flight. It was the bumpiest flight I ever been on in my entire life. It just felt like I was just bouncing around. But when I landed, I was on top of the roof of this particular hospital, and about 20 people came out to meet me, and that's all I remember after that.
Wow. Then you went directly into surgery.
Yes.
And the next thing you know, you're in recovery.
I'm in recovery, and I think it might have been a day later or whatever. I don't know how they got in contact with the kids or whatever, but they were there.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that because it seemed like everything was moving so fast. How were they able to get in touch with your family?
I have because I work for Boeing, I have medical records, and Cameron was the person to call.
Okay.
Cameron and my brother.
Okay.
And they both called everybody else.
Got it.
And that's how they got there.
That's because, exactly, because we actually got our information from Cameron as well. Which, from my opinion, he has been a great son.
He has
for you and takes care of you, but I'll get to that later.
So let me get to that. Everybody, be good to your kids, because it does come back. It does come back.
You know what? I'm so glad you said that, because that is something that I really do. I really try to live by, because I see what happens when parents and children don't have really good relationships, and things happen later on in life, and then the expectation is for your child to be there for you, take care of you. And sometimes I think they struggle in that because the relationship is so off. So that's a blessing.
And I agree. And one of the things from the hospitals that I've been in, quite honestly, even at 66, I was one of the youngest people at these hospitals that I was at. And a lot of parents, a lot of older patients didn't have anybody to come visit them. And they knew who Cameron was. The minute they saw Cameron, they knew who he was. I know who you're going to see. Yeah. And all my family was there. My nieces and nephew. I have nieces and nephew in Texas, so everybody came in, and I had a lot of visitors, a lot of family support. That's definitely why I'm here in the spirits I'm in right now, because all the family I had.
Yeah. And that was another question that I have for you too. It's like, how do you, what keeps you like pushing and going? What keeps you having such a positive attitude? And I'm not saying that sometimes maybe I'm pretty sure it gets hard, it gets rough, all the things, but what is the one thing that really pushes you and keeps you encouraged to keep moving?
I believe that I can do anything.
Mm.
I believe that I've been blessed where I can do anything. I believe
Mm.
God gives everybody the spirit. I don't want to sound over churchy, but I
Mm.
believe that I just been given that. I have had. Uh, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do,
Yeah.
but it's been the easiest thing to do to do because of my family around me.
Wow.
I feel like I can't let them down. I can't let them see me. I
Mm.
can't. I don't want to be a burden on anybody. I've had some days where I've cried, not because I was in pain or anything like that, but I was feel like I was wearing Cameron out or
Wow.
wearing Chance out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or
Yeah.
wearing my nephews and nieces out. Too much of a burden. That's the hardest thing for me, having to
Mm.
have somebody do anything for me. I've been by
Mm.
myself since I was 16 years old.
Wow.
I've been on my own since I was 16. I joined the Navy at 16,
Mm.
and I've been gone ever since then. So have somebody do something for me is
Mm-hmm.
is is
It's a
drives me
challenge.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's yeah, it's a lot of people, a lot of us, I'll say us,
yeah,
have a difficult time asking for help or even receiving help
yes,
or assistance, but I think I think family would probably be insulted if they weren't able to help and be a blessing to you. And I think
yes,
sometimes it kind of goes back to what a blessing we ourselves have been to others. And it's not always that it's the people that come back and bless us that we were a blessing to them,
right,
but sometimes it's the fact that we have blessed so many other people in this world that, indeed, God is going to make it where you'll be blessed in your time of need. I think
yeah,
about all the kids that you were a part of their lives when we were, when our children were young and,
yeah,
you were doing children's church. And I think about all the fun times they had. And I think about how they all still really love and care about you, the
I
way they
appreciate
did when they were children, but even in a different way now.
it. Hmm.
So I can't imagine, even though you've been on your own since you were 16, I can't imagine you being that kind of a person that you being the person that I'm sorry. You have to cut that out, Kwame. I can't imagine you being the kind of person that in your time of need no one would come to see about you or assist you because you've done so many things for other people. We're not perfect, but we've done great things in our lives, and we should reciprocate that type of blessing. So thank you for just being who you were. You made a great impression on all the children. We had a lot of kids at our church when we were younger, and you
Yeah,
and your former wife, you guys would take them and just have all the fun. The kids remember all the great things that you did, and they're not kids anymore, they're adults with their own children now. But it's just a fun, loving time to think back on all the great times that we had and all the great things that were done. Let me ask you this: what were your initial thoughts, or how did you feel when you learned that you needed to have both legs amputated initially?
well, I tried to fight that because uh uh I thought actually, first of all,
Hmm.
I thought it wouldn't be the whole leg, it would be the foot,
Mm-hmm.
because the feet were bad. And then they told me, well, when to cut out your feet, we had to do it this way so that it has some skin to go through. So you have to we cut it so much off, and then we flap the other remaining skin over.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they don't make. I didn't have any good flesh to flap over on
God.
both legs, so
Okay.
that's what both was on. And so I didn't have any good flesh to flap over. And so I thought maybe they cut just to cut the ankles off, and I just get prosthetic ankles, but they don't make those.
Oh, okay.
So they had to cut where they thought the the poison stopped, the gangrene stopped. and cut a little bit
Okay.
ahead of that, and then have enough to flip over and fold. The actual incision cuts so much off, and then it flips the other skin over.
Mm-hmm.
And I had problems with imagining them. I was out, of course, when it happened, but I had problems when I rub my. I call them the boys. I don't call them stumps or ends. I
Okay.
call them the boys.
Boys, I like that.
So when I rub the boys, there's a bone, the femur
Uh-huh.
and the tibia. When I feel that particular bone, I imagine them sawing through it, and that kind of freaks me out. And that kind of
Mm,
I get a little bit teary eyed when I think of that. That I had
yeah.
to sit on a table, somebody to sit there and saw through.
Oof.
Uh, so like I said, I wasn't awake with anything like that, but I think
Right.
about that, and that's the only time I really get teary eyed. Or I
Wow.
see a commercial and I see somebody running or dancing, I go, I can't
Mm,
do that anymore. But then I
mm.
said, why can't I do that anymore?
I was gonna say, I don't see you giving
So
up on
so
certain
so
things.
I don't feel like I'm gonna give that up. I'm gonna do a dance commercial or something. You're gonna see your boy dancing soon.
Okay.
I
And
gotta
you know
learn.
what? Let me say this.
I gotta learn how to stand up.
I believe everything you're saying because you've been here in California now for how long since this happened?
About a month now.
So you've been here about a month.
Yeah.
So the very first time that I saw you, you came and you were in a wheelchair.
Right.
Okay. And like, having some difficulty with, moving about.
Mm,
The son was doing, all the things to help take care of you, get you moving and
right.
around where you needed to go. And then the next time I saw you, I think it was the same thing. You were in a wheelchair.
Mm,
The last time I saw you, and it wasn't even this past Sunday, but Sunday, the last
prior.
Sunday,
Mm,
you came in with a walker.
with the walker, yeah.
And I was just like, wait
Yeah.
a minute. He was just in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you turn around like 2 weeks later
Mm,
and you're on the walker. And I mean, you were getting around. And
yeah.
I know you still, are getting used to all of this and making sure that you're safe and, that you
Right.
still keep your balance and all that. But it was just, Crest, it was just amazing to see you in just 2 weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, make that type of progress.
Mm.
So what that says to me is that you are really pursuing your recovery. So tell me about your recovery process. What does that look like on a daily basis?
Well, I go to outpatient therapy who try to get me to strengthen my to strengthen walking, to
Mm-hmm.
have faith in myself that I can stand up without
Mm-hmm.
holding on. I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting used to that. To
Okay.
walking back and forth in the area. They have a machine called a vector, which hooks you up, and nobody holds you, and you can walk. It holds you up, holds your body up, and you can walk. Get used to walking on your own.
Okay.
So I did that just recently.
Mm-hmm.
Today is Tuesday, so I did it last Friday. The
Mm-hmm.
vector machine. Where I came from, there was another machine called the walking tight. You get in and you push it. Your body pushes it, so you
Mm-hmm.
get used to you pushing it and walking in here. So my main thing that I'm trying to learn is balance. I'm trying to learn how to stand up uh, straight. I've been in
Mm-hmm.
a wheelchair so long that I have a little creak in my back that I got to learn how to stand up straight. So
Oh, okay.
that's from that goes to stretching better, learning how to when you're laying in bed, laying flat, so
Mm-hmm.
your hip flexions can bend out. These are things I'm learning now.
So tell me this, what is your goal? What is your goal? So you're amputated below the knee,
Below the
right
knee.
below the knee.
Mm.
And then I know you told me that you lost a couple fingers,
I lost the tips of two fingers. Yes,
tips of two fingers. So in all of this, because I know one of your goals you told me was you're trying to get back to work,
trying to
right?
get back to work. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but what is your main goal? What is it that what do you want to do?
I want to be able to go back on a boat.
Hmm.
One of my hobbies is my friends have boats and we go out on the boat, and it takes a little bit of balance to be able to get on the boat. I don't have to stand
Right.
up, but I
Mm-hmm.
got to used to not being scared to go out on the water now again. I got to learn
Oh,
to get that over that of that fear of being on the water.
right, right.
So
That
that
makes
and
sense.
yeah, that and I don't have any desires to run a race. I don't mind running, but I don't have a desire to run a race. But
Mm-hmm.
I would like to learn how to run again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe play some more sports.
Hmm.
You know, just be more, just not be in the house, old man in the house. You know,
Yeah.
where I want to be able to get out and do stuff and not be or can't go. I
I
see
love
so many
that.
people with prosthetics walking and doing stuff and
Yeah.
swimming and doing
Yeah.
things. I just want to be one of those people to be able to do it. And my story be that I was able to get through it, and God helped me learn how to walk all over again, and to be willing to tell anybody who wants to know. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to have, people ask me what happened. I always want to have one of those great stories. I got a shark attack. A shark got me. I, I was I was swimming in the Pacific Ocean. Shark attacked me. I
Right.
don't have that story though, but
Right.
uh, the one I do have is that I survived a heart attack that meant to take me out, but God said not now, and so
Not
I'm
now.
okay with that. I'm okay with that.
And I think I'm a firm believer that there is purpose in everything. Even the stuff that just seems really,
Hmm.
negative, but it
Yeah.
may appear to be negative to other people. But I'm a firm believer that there is a purpose for everything that we go through, every experience, all of those things. So, do you feel like you know what the purpose is for all of this that has happened?
I'll be honest and say not yet. I'm still
Okay.
seeking. I'm still
I like
looking
that.
for.
I like that.
Uh, I'm still looking for that particular purpose. What should I have learned? What's my new job?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like it's gonna be something like that. My new what I need to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't presently know what that is right now.
And that's
Other
honest. Yeah.
other than showing people that you don't have to give up.
Yeah. Now that right there, there's purpose in that right there because there are people who give up on much lesser than what you've dealt with and have gone through and are going through at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes, there's that old I don't know, Christian thing, a song or something. I used to feel sorry for myself, because I didn't have certain kinds of shoes, but then I saw the man that didn't have feet, and,
Peace. You're right.
things like that, and it kind of puts things into perspective, because sometimes we do feel sorry for ourselves. Sometimes we do get into, you know, slumps in our life, or we get into places where we're depressed and down. And I'm not saying that that's not something that you experience, or it's not something that you may, experience, from time to time. But the blessing is that we know who we serve, and we know that we serve a God that is there for us and takes care of us and blesses us. So we know eventually you'll get to whatever that purpose is.
Sure.
You may do that commercial, where you are running or dancing or doing
Mm-hmm.
whatever those things are that you want to do, but I think one of the bigger purposes is, that you are a demonstration of never giving up. You are a demonstration of having an amazing attitude, not being, a person who's saying, oh, there's nothing's bothering me, this doesn't get to me. No,
Right.
you're honest
Right.
about that. But I feel like part of your purpose, I don't know your whole purpose, but I feel like part of your purpose is really being an example to people. And I think about this too, be an example to people, because we're not spring chickens anymore.
Right.
you
Right.
know yeah, we've come a long way. And
Yes.
I think just being that person that says, okay, I'm 66, but I can still do certain things, and I still want to learn how to do certain things.
Exactly.
So I think that's amazing.
One of the things that you said about the man, you find don't complain about no shoes when you see a man with no feet. one of the things about my surgery that helped me get over it quick was prior to my surgery, the lady before me had both arms removed and both legs removed.
Wow.
That's a surgery that happened before me.
Okay.
So even when I think about losing my legs, I think about I still got my arms, I still can control, I still can move around, I still can pick myself up, I still can do this, I still can grab myself, I still can feed myself. So those things, I have that in my mind all the time.
That puts it into perspective.
Yes.
Of course, we're going to go to a commercial really quick, and then when we
Okay.
come back, I want to ask you a few questions about the medical system.
Okay.
Do you have a business, brand, or even a creative idea? Pyro Media Network can help you design a strategy to make your brand impactful. Visit www.pyromedianetwork.com today to schedule a free consultation. Pyro Media Network, next level media.
Okay, so before we went to a commercial break, we were just kind of talking about things being put into perspective, and I kind of wanted to move into a different direction. I wanted to ask you what your thoughts are about the healthcare system. Do you feel like not enough was done, amazing things were done? Do you feel like there's more people can do, or more that doctors and nurses and all those folks that work in the healthcare system that they can do? Were they kind to you? You feel like they did what they were supposed to do?
That's a twofold question. The first part about that, I am blessed that the doctor knew what he was doing and was able to do this, and the people around him,
right,
the healthcare service. But I do feel like there was a way to save my legs. I do feel that way. That's being honest. I feel like there was, we got pictures and stuff where the legs were just swollen. They weren't black. And, they let them, to me, I feel like they didn't do enough to make sure they kept getting blood or whatever. Now, that being said, someone would say, well, listen, they gave you the medicine to keep your heart going. Be happy that happened. You are alive. And I am. I am happy I'm alive. But I do feel like something could have been done to save the legs. I do. And I don't know how to put that any nicer than that.
Right.
Now, as far as the healthcare professionals, the nurses were nice. They were accommodating. They took care of my family because I had a lot of family coming in and out, and a lot of people asking questions and stuff. I know for a fact. Healthcare system, as far as I feel like I have my son and I have my sister-in-law who's a healthcare profession, who works with talking to doctors and stuff and getting things done.
So she's like an advocate?
Yes. And I feel like everybody doesn't have somebody like her in their family.
Yeah.
So if I had to, I went through a lot of stuff, a lot of unanswered questions, a lot of her seeking stuff out, trying to find out information for me. What about happens to those people that don't have somebody like her?
Yes.
I thank God every day for her. She knows what questions to ask, knows how to ask it, knows what to say, know what the rules are. And she was in my corner, and she would tell Cameron, you need to ask about this. You need to find out about this. We need to talk to the doctor about this. And things like that. If it was not for her, I don't know where I would be as far as the care that I got. Okay. Wow. So I think about, what about people that don't have anybody like her?
Right.
And I mentioned earlier about people not having family come and check you out. So what if they don't have family? Who they? That's the people I saw there were all old and, run around the facility in a wheelchair, just like nobody cares about them. And that bothers me a lot.
Yeah.
That bothers me a lot. So if you asked me a question earlier, what do I think the purpose is? I would like to shine a light on that.
Yeah.
I would like to find the ability to push that, be more of a vocal representation of people who don't have anybody to speak for them.
I think that would be awesome, because I was just really going to ask you, like, what changes would you advocate for, in the healthcare system that would help improve the outcomes for patients? What do you think? I mean, going through the experience that you've gone through, what do you think that could be done different?
That you have a personal, when you go through, not everybody can get one, but when you go through a series of things where you're as debilitated as that was, you have some kind of spokesperson.
Mm-hmm.
Their job is to advocate for you.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, my sister-in-law's name is Gwen Mitchell. I would like somebody like her to been somebody, some of those people represented, to speak for them, and to say, hey, we need this, we need that. I would like a way that everybody that got into that kind of position, if you don't have anybody, that they give somebody, almost like the court, they give you somebody to help defend yourself.
Yes.
Give me somebody to help take care of me, and and pay them a reasonable amount of money so they can do their job. They want to do their job and help people out.
Yeah, that's very true, because there are a lot of people out there. I used to work just briefly as a hospice social worker. And I remember how difficult sometimes it was to get not extra resources
for
people, but the necessities.
Exactly.
I mean, just the bare minimum of what people needed to live, like, not an extraordinary life, but just, at least survive or have the things that they need. I remember how difficult that was sometimes to get that for elderly people, for people who were, in that last stage of life, and sometimes the healthcare system is really not interested in making things better for people. It's really about that bottom line,
Exactly. How much time you get in the hospital that you need, as opposed to how much insurance you have.
Exactly.
Insurance only pays for 14 days. Sorry.
Right.
What does that do? What does that do for somebody? Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that do for somebody for 14 days that just, and I found that, like I said, Gwen would have to go through different people and say, okay, his Blue Cross Blue Shield takes care of this. His Medicare will take care of this. And she had to say, you got to say Medicare on this one, because this is how much it'll take. And nobody knows that unless you've been in the business.
Right.
So that's the kind of thing I would like to see better for everybody.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I think back years ago, like my oldest daughter is 39. And I think back 39 years ago when I had her, they would keep you in the hospital for at least 4 days.
Yes.
And that it didn't matter if you were there, you had a C-section, you were there for more.
Right.
They would make sure you were taken care of, the baby was taken care of, all those things. Now I see women, they go in the hospital, they have a baby, and sometimes they're leaving that same night.
That's the same night. That's right.
The same night, so really the healthcare system is really, it's unfortunate. And we do, don't get me wrong, we do have amazing doctors, amazing nurses, and amazing people like your sister-in-law who advocate for people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it's the administration part of it that it doesn't have a heart. It's just about that bottom line.
Exactly.
So I think, part of your purpose could be being an advocate, a spokesperson for people, being that you went through all that you went through and you had a person to help you and to, I was thinking back.
It was still hard.
Yeah, my sister was going through cancer, and certain things they were trying not to pay for, certain things they wouldn't, they would only pay up to so much, and I thought about, like, I tried to get an advocate for her, right? And that person, and I'm not against people, getting paid, but she wasn't in a position to pay. That person was like, I need so much money, so I'm thinking, well, her insurance won't pay for that. An advocate? Nah, they wouldn't pay for that. So, it's just like, and so it was a fight, like you were saying, it was a fight to get some of the things that she needed. We always made sure that a family member was with her when she went to the doctor, when she went for appointments, even when she went for her treatments. Sometimes when she went for her treatments, I was sitting right there in the next chair, because you always want to make sure that your loved one is being treated
right,
the right way.
With respect, yes.
With respect and dignity.
Right.
Exactly. Well, we're about to close out. I tell you, this has been so interesting. It really has. And thank you for sharing and being, so open. But I think my last question for you, Crest, just looking ahead, what are your hopes for the future in terms of your health and the advocacy for other people?
I would like to be able to go back to work and retire on my own reconnaissance, on my own desire, not because I got hurt and I couldn't do it. I've been with the company 35 years. I love the company. I have a great job. But everybody was saying, "So you're retiring now, right? You're retiring now." I was like, "No, I'm not going to just get sick and get out. I'm gonna go in there and work a year or two or three or whatever, and decide then, okay, I had enough on my own."
Right. You make the decision.
Yeah. And then in that meantime, I want to find something else to do, and that might be advocacy for other people. I might figure out a way to do it. Might be go on the road speaking on healthcare. On how to help people get better, representation. No. I don't know yet, but I would love that to be my story. Yeah. I would love for you to call me next year and ask me, and tell you, and I tell you, hey, this is what we got going on.
Okay.
I would love for that to happen.
I would love to hear that too. We'd have to do a part 2 of this interview.
Yeah. Definitely.
So we do an update on all the wonderful things that you're doing and how you progressed, and how you have your walking legs and your running legs.
Running legs, yes. Yeah, and that's another thing. So even my legs. So I was able to get a prosthesis, which is a weird name a weird word to say. Prosthesis, the guy who makes the prosthesis, and he gave me his. I practiced on his before mine were made. I ordered a specific kind that I wanted. Cameron said, "Let's try to get this other kind." I guess the Ferrari kind. And my insurance said no. And I was like, "Why?" And he said, "Because they're experimental." But the guy said, "No, they've been out 20 years." But insurance said, "No, they're experimental." So I got a lesser kind. But I've learned how to walk on these. And my goal is to be able to buy them, the other pair that I want. And it just has a better inflection of the ankle, to be able to bend more, to be able to be in, walk up mountains and stuff like that, hills. And I just want to be able to not be hampered by anything. I'll have some type of hampering, I'm learning how to get off the floor. I'm learning that when I fall, how to get up without having somebody help me out.
Wow.
So I think the outpatient thing is a great idea. But even we were talking about earlier about healthcare paying for stuff, I had to fight about outpatient.
Wow.
And I'm like, I need it. You're just gonna give me 2 new legs and not care how I learn how to walk on them?
Right.
I need somebody. I need that organized training.
Wow.
But I hope, like I say, to be able to have my own, to have better legs, to have those running legs, like you say. I don't know why, because I ain't gonna be doing no Olympic running. I'm telling you that now. I have no desire to do that.
Okay.
I do want to be able to run with my grandkids though. So
okay.
So that's a good thing. I love my family. I've been blessed with a great family. They all pamper me and want to do for me. I got Sherelle over here right now. She's cleaning my room up and helping me out, and I'm like, oh, okay,
I love
being
that.
my baby girl,
Yeah.
And so, it is. I got blessed with a great family, great kids, great in-laws, who come and to visit me at the hospital. When I was in Texas, they came to visit me. I have days where they was like, what you got going on now? Because I have so many family members there.
Yeah.
We meet in the main hall. We having a dinner or something like that. So
I love that.
they took care of me. They did good. I'm
That's
so
so
blessed with
cool.
my family. I thank God for them every day.
Yeah. You know how we say it at Church One, when we roll deep.
We roll deep, yeah.
Yes. So thank you so much for being with me tonight. Thank you for taking the time out, for coming to my show, and just sharing and being very transparent and open about, this opportunity for God to get the glory. I won't say your situation,
Yes,
or,
opportunity.
yes, your opportunity for God to get the glory and for others to be helped and blessed by your story. So thank you. I appreciate you. You take care.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to do part 2, because I know you're going to do some great things, right?
Right.
Okay. You take care and have a great evening.
All right. Good evening.
Take care. Bye.
This episode is brought to you by Pyro Media Network, produced by Pyro Media Productions, setting brands ablaze since 2017. Thank you for listening.